Today, we'll be diving into 50 plus to-do list applications. This video will be a guide to help you find a to-do list application that matches your needs. It is going to explain them very briefly, so you can always skip ahead to whatever app that you don't know about in this video if you're curious. And if you do want to, you can find all the apps listed below with their tool finder review if you're interested. Before we begin, if you love one of these apps or hate one of these apps, you can always review them over on Tool Finder. You'll find it linked below, as well as finding as many to-do list apps and more that will be listed in this video. So let's begin, and our first on our list is a relatively new one. It's called Akiflow, and whilst I call it a daily planner app, it allows you to do three core things: your tasks, your calendar, and something called task consolidation, which basically brings all of your tasks into one application from other apps like ClickUp, Notion, Gmail, and many more different experiences. The idea behind this is it's popular with busy professionals because it then becomes your task dashboard for the day. So it's a bit more expensive, and it's probably better for those who are freelance or maybe even solopreneurs, or those who are just looking for something a little bit more rigid when it comes to calendar management as well. Next up is Taskade. Now this one's more of a project management application, but the application is popular with those who want to manage their tasks. It's got this calendar, project, and mind map feel to it, which means you can turn any of your basic lists for calendar and tasks into a project that feels a little bit more robust. It's also littered with artificial intelligence, and if you want to bring in more people like a small team, then it's got video chat abilities, voice chat, and also text chat as well. So think of this as more of a lightweight project management app, but also a task management app at that. Next up is Sunsama. Now, for those who don't know Sunsama, it's very similar to Akiflow, allowing you to bring in tasks from other applications, but it also has a calendar and tasks in there too. It also focuses much more on mindfulness, meaning you can plan your week ahead using something called guided planning. A lot of people like this because it's sort of like hand-holding you through planning your tasks for the week, and it's a popular hit with those who want something a little bit more holistic, where they can zoom out of their task management and be a little bit more effective. Next up, Motion. Now, it's not Notion, it's Motion, very similar to Akiflow and Sunsama in a sense. This is more of a daily planner application, but oozes artificial intelligence all the way through this app. It is designed to allow you to essentially add a task and your calendar events alongside each other. But basically what it will do is it will reschedule them based on what the artificial intelligence think is most suitable for you. So if you add things like priority levels, when it's due, deadlines, and things like that, it'll make smart decisions for you, reorganizing your task list for you. This is going to be super popular with those who are busy professionals who just don't want the administration of managing their task list. You can also see your tasks, very much like Taskade, in a Kanban style view as well, and share it with other people in your team if you're looking for a small team access to this task management application. Next up is Microsoft To-Do. Now, very simply, this is Microsoft's attempt at a to-do list application, and it does a good job. It's free for those who have a Microsoft account, and you can start adding tasks straight away. There's even a feature called My Day Suggestions, which takes tasks from lists that you've added and essentially brings them into the today area so that it can suggest them smartly for you to add straight to your today area. This is a helpful feature, especially if you created lots of list items and checklists and want to make sure you're not missing any tasks in your system. It's also good for creating lists and sharing them with others who have a Microsoft account, and is a really lightweight to-do app that has free access. Next up is Zenkit To-Do, and this really looks like Todoist and Wunderlist both together. This application has some limitations, but allows you to start adding tasks and creating smart lists to organize some of those tasks. It's more of a, I guess, busy professionals to-do list application, but also connects in with the Zenkit suite, which provides a range of applications, including a note-taking app, project management app, and chat app as well. So it's worth considering if you're in that ecosystem and realm of Zenkit already. Next up is OmniFocus 4. Now this application is developed by one called Omni Group, and they create a couple of applications. This one is super popular with GTD. It's really focused around the whole concept of next actions and also helping you with backlog items. And there's a really cool feature called Forecast, which will help you to coordinate your activities going forward. But I would say this is probably much better for those who are advanced to-do list applications users and those who want something a little bit more rigid that follows the system of GTD. Next up is To-Do, a very intense one at that, because it comes with a license on Android and I believe iOS as well. It also has a desktop version too. But the application is very intense because it has a very classic design, nothing that you're going to write home about, but has a structure that is going to be popular with Getting Things Done by David Allen. very similar to OmniFocus 4, this application is a little bit cheaper in price and comes with a robust sense of structure, which GTD lovers will really embrace. So it's well worth considering this one if you're in that GTD market, along with OmniFocus 4, of course. Next up is Timestripe. Now, again, this is a daily planner type application and is very different to the ones that we mentioned in the list. Closest alternative is probably Sunsama, but Timestripe helps you to plan your week, your month, and your decade. I said it decade because what it does very well is helps you to zoom out of what you're focusing on and allow it to trickle down into your week. So here's an example of how that works. You can plan your year goals and see them alongside your month goals and then your week goals and your day goals, which is really effective for some people because they can have that goal that they're focusing on for the next decade or year in sight, and then they can be able to trickle down what those actions mean for them, whether that's just the month goals or the yearly goals. It's a really effective technique that a lot of people are starting to move towards. But the application is reasonably priced compared to some of the other more advanced daily planner apps, but well worth considering if you're in the market for something like that. Now, Todoist is an all-round to-do list application. It's actually my to-do list app of choice, and it's really popular with those who just want something robust, simple, and easy to get on with. I typically go around recommending this to pretty much anyone because it has that sense of easy approach to it. Like, I think my mother-in-law could get on quite well with this application, but I also think that someone that is advanced in to-do list application management for work could probably get on well with too, because it has the Kanban boards, it's soon to get the calendar abilities, and also just has custom views and other templating abilities that'll save you time in setting systems up. So I would say this is great for all-round management and comes at a reasonable price for what you're paying for, especially because it's get updated pretty routinely. Next up is Things 3. This outstanding in terms of its design and beauty. This is the most beautiful to-do list application on the market. It is limited to Mac and iOS, but the application is beautiful and it works really well on all of those devices. And what a lot of people love about it is it comes with a one-off cost, meaning if you wanted it on Mac, iPhone, and iPad at the current time of filming, it's going to cost you $80. And that is pretty reasonable if you think about it as a one-off cost, because if you were to keep the application and use it for 3 or 4 years, it outweighs paying for a subscription and you have that license forever. So Things 3 is a really approachable to-do list application. It's really well designed if you want to manage personal projects too, because it's got the ability to create deadlines in there as well. Next up is Notion, and whilst it's more of a project management application, Notion is a to-do list app as well. It allows you to manage your tasks, and it's got a lot better at it recently with the introduction of something called Notion Home, which allows you to create something called a task dashboard, which will give you access to it on your homepage in Notion, and finally easily find all of your tasks for the day. I really like how they've done the databases because you can really break it down into whatever view you like, whether that's gallery view or list view or Kanban view. You can organize your tasks how you like, as long as you know how to customize and build a structure of a Notion account. Next up is a new one. It's called Superlist, and it's a to-do list application that is really designed for teams but can be used individually. And this application is great because you can start organizing your tasks for the week ahead, you can capture stuff in your inbox, and you can create these lists that also serve as note-taking experiences as well, allowing you to start writing notes in there and sharing them in real time with team members. You can create an account for your team with up to 5 people in it for free, which is pretty decent, and it gives you good level of real-time collaboration to allow you to modify tasks, assign them to other people, and plan your week ahead. This is a really interesting option if you're in the market for an all-round to-do app and you want to keep the budget quite low. Next up is Structured. Now this one is really centric towards the iOS devices, in my opinion. It has a beautiful application, but I wouldn't say it's an advanced to-do list application. I would say it's much of a casual task management app, because what it does very well is it allows you to start organizing what your timeline looks like for the day. And what I mean by that is 9 o'clock emails, 10 o'clock this, 11 o'clock that, and you can see this timeline as you go across your day. A lot of people like this for habit tracking, but also being able to see routine items because you can bring them in your calendar to help you see what's coming up. But there is even a premium feature, and the premium is really reasonable. There's a lifetime pricing of $30, and you get that lifetime, meaning you can keep access to it on Mac and iOS forever, which means you can also access the AI feature, which is also very good because you can add a couple of prompts like, want to go to gym at 8 a.m, want to go thingy at 2 p.m, this and that. Basically speak to it and essentially it will populate the timeline for you for the next day or whenever you want. And this is great because it will save you a bunch of time. So well worth considering if you're somebody that is mobile centric and doesn't need something too advanced. Next one is Actions by Moleskine, and this one is a really beautiful application. It comes as part of the Moleskine suite, which is a little bit pricey, but you do get other applications as part of it. But Moleskine Actions is really beautiful because it allows you the ability to create lists and organize those lists inside of a really gorgeous iOS application. I believe it also comes on Android more recently. I'll have to double check that, but you can find the access to that on Tool Finder as well. But largely the application is just really easy to look at. It allows you to plan your day and have a colorful approach to it. Very much like their other application, TimePage, which is, in my opinion, one of the most gorgeous calendar applications on the market. Next up is Twos. It is an application that comes on all devices, and it is more of a note-taking application because you can use daily notes to start basically writing down items and use lists to organize those notes together. But it also allows you to add tasks, seeing them for the week ahead, and be able to organize all of your items in one location. So it's really this remember everything application. So it's not just to-dos, it's notes as well, and it will really help you to try and plan more effectively having those both together, because a lot of people like having those notes and tasks in one location. Next up is MeisterTask, and this is more of a light project management application, but teams are looking at it, individuals are looking at it because it has some great Kanban abilities to help you to coordinate your tasks more effectively. And it's great features like analytics, a homepage to see all those notifications if you're assigned to anything, and the minimal design makes it really easy to approach and use. A lot of people like how it's set up. So it's well worth considering if you're looking for something that you're willing to share with team members in the future. But again, much more of a advanced to-do list application with a fairly generous free plan to get you started, at least if you're using it for individuals. Next up is Upbase. Now this is a planner application, which is more designed for small teams, but it's a strange one because you can start organizing your notes in a notepad, your tasks in a task view, and then your calendar, allowing you to see your week ahead. So it's interestingly a good way to schedule and plan your week, but it also has abilities to create a project and really broaden that project out to documents, to project views, and other functionality, which a lot of people like because they can span into that. But at the same time, it also has good planner abilities. Now, there were a few bugs when I played around with it, but largely they look like they're addressing a lot of the smaller problems with the application. And it does connect, I believe, with Google Calendar when I tested it last, which helps you to set up things automatically. Next up is Nirvana, and this will be loved by GTD lovers out there. I even rate this above the likes of OmniFocus 4. OmniFocus 4, a great advanced to-do list application and very popular with the GTD market. But if you're looking for a GTD ultimate to-do list application, I'd probably say Nirvana is that, because what it helps you to do is go by the book with GTD and manage your task list based on all the systems that David Allen created and managed with how he built GTD. So I would recommend it if you're in the market for something very GTD orientated. Next up is Amazing Marvin. Now this one is an interesting one because it's what I call a modular to-do list application, and it's a very interesting concept that I titled myself. But very simply, you can build your own experience because you can switch on and off features. So if you want a timer in it, you can switch it on, switch it off. These are like little apps that are part of the experience. But this one is very popular with those who have ADHD, those who get distracted a lot, and those who want a application they feel they can build themselves. So it's well worth considering if you're in the market for something that is a little bit more structured in the sense of helping you to build your plan for the week and switch on and off features, which another app in the market does called ClickUp, but it can be a bit too intense. This one is much more centric towards helping you plan individually. Next up is Routine. Now, Routine is a daily planner app because it helps you to manage your tasks, calendar, and also does light note-taking in there. And it has this beautiful feature on Mac that allows you to plan with, when you press a couple of commands and it takes over the screen and it shows you how you can start adding events, tasks, and calendar, and what upcoming events you have, which is really nice. It's called Console. It's a very cool feature. This one's available through Windows, and it also has a Mac, and I believe they are looking to add iOS and Android in the future. But this application is very interesting because you can start using it for your meeting notes all the way to starting to plan your week ahead. And it has a very minimal feel to it, but as essence, I think it's a very nice planner application that those who are in between casual and professional planning. If you don't want something too casual, but you don't want something too professional, I feel like this is a good medium between those. Google Tasks is another free one. It's a simple to-do list application that allows you to plan using your iOS and Android device. But very simply, it is not too advanced. It allows you to add tasks to lists and start adding subtasks. That's really the basis of it. But there are some Google integrations with Google Workspace. You can connect it to a document and start adding tasks to that. But you can also drag in an email from Gmail using the web version and save that email, connect it to the tasks, and allow you to basically associate that email to the task, which is a nice functionality. Next up is Nozbe. Now this one, again, much more for busy professionals / small teams, but it allows you to help organize your task list, set up reminders, and begin to plan it in a bit more of a project view. People tend to like it because it's quite structured in a sense that it's very good at helping you to plan your projects for work alongside your personal tasks at the same time. And it has a system, but also a brilliant iOS and Android application at the same time. Next up is Tweek. Now this one's more of a calendar application, but it's very similar to another app called To-Do, which is used by Matt D'Avella, I believe. It's got an Android and iOS version and a web version. It allows you to basically plan your week. And it's sort of like a very simple, like a printable calendar that allows you to organize your tasks using that system. And I quite like that because what it's going to do is help you to visualize and see the whole week ahead in one snapshot. A lot of people tend to like these type of applications because they can see all of that in one. Next up is Any.DO. Now Any.DO is very popular. It's on a wide range of devices and it works very well for all of those devices. It has team accessibility and abilities for families as well to share tasks with each other. But a lot of people like it because it combines calendar and tasks on your mobile device, meaning you can connect it up with your calendar and get going coordinating all of the tasks there. But more recently, they've been developing boards, calendar mode for the desktop version, which makes it much more premium and feel so you can coordinate the week ahead. So it's well worth considering looking at the desktop version. It's very clean in nature. And if you get the premium, there's a lot more abilities when it comes to sharing and accessing other bits of the application like commenting, files, and much more. Next up is Llama Life. This is popular with those who have ADHD because it helps you to plan using a timer. And it also has a feature called presets, which allows you to pre-populate a routine for the day ahead. Now, basically, you can coordinate the timer, start the task you've got, and get going with it. And it's got the ability to sort of pop open. It's recently got an iOS application, but pop open as a separate web app, which allows you to help organize your tasks and see them. So you can drag that widget alongside the things that you're working on and start working on them, just going down a simple list. This gives you a real rigid, focused approach, and it's been gaining a lot of attention in the ADHD community. So next up is TickTick. This application is really beautiful. It's an all-rounder, very similar to Todoist, and it comes with a calendar mode that's locked under premium. More recently, they've added the ability to connect with Google Calendar, which makes it a pretty sick offering for those who are looking for something more robust and want something that allows you to coordinate work in one location. Now, everyone seems to like it because it has smaller features like progress bar, but also abilities like habit tracking, which allows you to track your habits alongside your tasks. And on desktop, it also has Kanban board abilities and calendar already. So a lot of people tend to like this application, and in premium, it's more recently got timeline view, which allows you to plan it in more of a Gantt chart view as well. Sorted 3 is a beautiful Things 3 alternative. There's a feature in it that I really like. You can select a bunch of tasks that are like timeline planned, a little like structured out, and essentially drag them or delay them for another date, which is really popular because if your morning gets wiped out, say your kid comes home from nursery and you're like, oh man, I've had that, then what it does essentially allows you to plan that for a later time, maybe 8 p.m. when they're asleep. But that's a really nice feature, especially if you get caught out. The application is really nice to use. The premium is really reasonable. I believe it's like $30 a month. No, $30 a month is expensive. $30 lifetime, and you get access to it, which means you can get access to that auto scheduling function, which a lot of people like. Next up is Tasks. Now, this is annoying because it's called Tasks. I can't describe it anymore, but it's very Apple-centric, being available on Mac and iOS. But it has a very basic structure to it, allowing you to coordinate your tasks alongside your projects and move them in a Kanban-style structure. This application is really basic in nature, but a lot of people like it because of its gorgeous and simple setup. Next up is one called BeforeSunset AI, and it is very much what it says on the tin, an AI type application, allowing you to plan your day using AI prompts. Now this is very helpful because you can see your calendar and your tasks all in one. But if you add a bunch of items into your task list and you don't really know when to sort them, you can click Plan My Day and it'll organize them into what is a suggested structure for the day ahead. So it's worth it if you like these type of applications that are more lightweight and focus more on mindfulness, because it has some abilities for breaks and timer functionality. So that was all of the to-do list applications. I'm not sure whether there was 50. Let's see, maybe there was 30. Let's see what the list comes out like. But there's loads of these to-do list applications on the market, and it's obviously well worth exploring them and diving into them. So do check out Tool Finder. We've got them all listed below, and any more that get added will be on Tool Finder instantly, so you can find them all there. Thank you very much for diving in, and if you want to get reviews on all these applications, you just can create an account on Tool Finder now, and you can get access to these reviews using the new scorecard function. So check that out in the link in the description, and I'll see you all very soon. Thank you very much, folks. Cheerio. Thank you very much for watching this video. If you enjoyed it, you can check out another video here on YouTube diving into productivity tools. But if you did want to, you can jump over to Tool Finder to discover any productivity tools, which will be linked here as well. We have a resource of over 250 productivity tools and growing. And naturally, there are reviews, insights, and much more. So do check it out below. But thank you very much for watching this video.